Okay, people. Hey, well, there's quite a history behind this little tractor. This is a Model A. Yeah, pretty old. I don't even know what year they made this thing, but I've been working on this tractor a little while today because yesterday it had a major problem. It was grinding. It was making all sorts of noises. Now this tractor's got quite the history behind it. Anyway, I took off this cover here because I wanted to look at those rod bearings. And they're pretty tight. They're not even nowhere near, I think, wore out. Of course, I don't want to take them off. That'd be a disaster. But anyway, I wanted to show you that. See that sump pump down there? That thing was completely plugged up. Completely plugged up. And I suspect that the pressure was so low that the rods were actually starting to maybe seize, or the main bearings were going out. It was a growling noise. I'm going to take off the valve cover later just to see if those push rods are on those rocker arms. But it was a major cleanup. It was actually wasn't all that filthy on the walls, and then I started to look down in there. You know, I had a little tiny flashlight. It was worthless, but I got a trouble light and stuck it down in there, and I got some diesel in a squirter. I mean in an applicator there thing, you know, a spray tank, and it really cleaned it up good. And then I got a toothbrush and scrubbed that sump pump up. Anyway, what I'm going to do next is I'm going to take apart this oil pump underneath. See that? I don't know if you can. I'm all twisted up here. I'm going to take that oil pump off and check it out. I got some gaskets for that anyway, so I'll be all right. And the reason I think a lot of the problems was this great big cover. That's where the big flywheel is. It's right behind that. And what I did this winter was I took that whole cover off, took off the flywheel, and put some rebuilt the gasket on it. The thing was leaking so much oil out of it that I was hesitant to put clean oil in it because, you know, pretty expensive. And I was putting used oil in it. But it was out of my vehicle, and if it was good enough for my vehicle, I figured it was good enough for the tractor. Anyway, I've been working this little tractor out here for 25 years. I got this little tractor in a shop that the thing was split in half, and you can see right there where the block was welded. Yeah, the person who had it before didn't put $2 of antifreeze in it, so the poor block cracked, and the whole tractor was split in half. And I totally rebuilt it, put new rings in it and everything. But you know, after the years, looks like a lot of little minor problems are developing. The radiator itself's got so many holes in it that I never did fix it. I tried. It's like 4 cores, and I never could fix a thing. You know, basically, you'd have to do is take off the top up there and plug off the cores that are leaking. But the thing leaks like a sieve. I ain't gonna lie. But I just work a little piece of ground here, and I keep nearby a hose, so it's always full of water. Never overheats on me. I did burn the head gasket out one time, so it's gone through 2 head gaskets, 3 from the original. But I'm going to take off this valve cover here in a few minutes and see what the heck is going on behind there. That shouldn't be too hard. That's a piece of cake. But I've seen some other videos on YouTube, and I said, well, those guys are, you know, showing their experience of what's going on. I said, well, I guess I will too, you know. I like to play around with the computer anyway. But yeah, we got some brake drums here that are locked up. This one here is plumb locked up. And this one doesn't have a big nut on the front. I don't know how you take that apart. But it's got one bolt broke off. So I guess it's only got two to take off and the whole thing will pop off. But I might have to work on that because that thing's been locked up. I remember over one winter I started it up and there was a ping, and I don't know what that noise was. I think the spring got jammed up in there, and it just needs to be taken apart. But it's it's easier said than done. You know, I don't care what they say because you take it all apart and then you got to keep on working on it. You know, and this thing here. This big clutch, you know. I thought maybe, I don't know if this thing is shot inside or what. You know, I don't think it is. There was a lot of growling and a lot of banging, and I thought those rods were totally shot. And I always take this distributor off every spring. There's some leaf cutter bees want to get in there. I don't know how in the world they get in there, but they get in there and they plug it all up. You know, there's not even no way to get in the thing. And there's little leaf cutter bees in there and stuff. You know. Yeah, I soldered up that poor pipe 3-4 times there. Yeah, it works. That thing there, I dare take that apart. And you have to get a cutting torch to chop that all off. But that's all brand new piping was 25 years ago. I cleaned the sump pump the oil breather air cleaner there every year. I always just stick used oil in it, and it's all right. Yeah, when I was working on it this winter, all these block bolts were loose. All those block bolts were loose. So yeah, if you got one of these, you better start checking those block bolts because they're probably loose. This here's the oil level, and I think this is the high one right here. This one up here. That's where it actually should be, and this is low. So I always stick it in here, fill it up to here, and throw some more in, but I never fill it up to the top. I might now that if I can get some of these leaks fixed up, you know. As far as the transmission goes and the gearbox and all that, and it's a mystery to me. These are brand new tires. Well, they were 25 years ago. Cost me $1,000. $1,000 for these tires. The other ones were so wore out that I was out here working the little field and the tire flew off. Well, I took it over there to the shop and they laughed at me because I was threading it up with wire. Yeah, it worked. But you got 1 year done. Anyway, what I do out here is I grow a little asparagus. See that? This all used to be asparagus a long time ago. Yeah, about 4 or 5 years ago it all died, you know, after a lot of years. But I got all this, I got more than half of it, well, a little under half of it back in asparagus. And I tell you what, it's a heavy hitter. It makes a lot of grass. Ain't the smoking kind. I mean, I didn't say that. Anyway, I got this little mower here on here. I haven't used this for a couple of years. And it's a pretty good mower. It's got one bearing out down there, but it just keeps on rolling. Don't want to take it apart. It's like a lot of work all the time. The neighbor gave me a pretty nice one, and I sold it. I put anti-seize on these babies here a long time ago so they would come loose when I needed to. It seems like I'm always moving these tires because I do different little jobs with it. I pull a plow and plow the little field sometimes. But the first time I took that thing apart, it was so petrified. You burned up like 2 tanks of oxygen getting that thing off. But yeah, these tires, they still got a lot of wear on them, you know. And what cracks me up is, if you think back on what those originals look like, they were nearly bald. Do you imagine how many hours a thing has on it? You know? I just, you know, I sure would like to know if those rods are wore out, but you know, they don't got no play in them, little side play in them, that's about it, but that ain't nothing. I don't believe it is. I think that was the whole problem, was that sump pump down there was so plugged up that the poor motor wasn't even getting no oil. So, hopefully it didn't wreck nothing. We'll find out. Yeah, I'll probably take off this this valve cover here in a little bit. I'll tell you another story about this thing here, man. This hose, that's an SOB. Oh man, shit, Christmas. Yeah, and you got to take that off, or you're gonna take that head off. Yeah, 'cause it's bolted to the head. I mean, that is the biggest nightmare I ever saw. Yeah, you got to drain that. There's the oil plug hole right there. Let's see. Yeah, right there. Yeah, I drain the water on it, of course, all the time because it gets cold over here, and well, we don't want to do another major repair job. But yeah, the poor little tractor sat there 17 years. 17 years. Here's my Chevy truck. I got to check out my other video on that. Got a hoist and ram and poor thing. Painted it a long time ago. Mixed a bunch of paint together. Turned out baby blue. It was beautiful. But it needs to get washed. Put some wax on it, what have you. Got an old Yamaha over here too. See my Yamaha? Huh. I bought that brand new in 1980. Here's my kitty. It's gonna be on the World Wide Web. You didn't even know that. Bugs! Bugs! You know Larry? You know Terry? You know Jerry? Oh, he's being stuck up. Yeah, he made some meow. Anyway, people. Yeah, I just wanted to touch base with you. Let you know how to work on these a little bit. Won't take up too much of your time. I know it's kind of sometimes it gets boring if you're not really doing educational stuff on here, but good luck to you people.